panel right here, DC motor. Hello, my name is Larry and welcome to the channel today. Hey, we're going to be playing with a little bit of solar today. We're going to show you how to run a little DC or a little water pump, a solar water pump. Let me get down there and grab it. This little gadget right here, we're going to show you how to run this thing on a 100-watt solar panel. Now, I made a video like this, I don't know, a couple of years back, but I didn't have that little gadget right there, and I'll tell you what that is later on. Well, you can run this pump as long as you want to, as long as you got a panel out there that produces a certain amount of electricity, power, voltage, whatever you want to call it, and I'll tell you about that in just a second. So stick around, let me show you what we're going to do. Well, first thing we're going to have is a 100-watt solar panel. Now this is, I believe, one of those eco-worthies. I bought this thing a couple years ago and really don't know at the time remember what I bought it for, but anyhow, we got it today. So we're going to use it. Now we've got some 290-watt solar panels, but I think this one right here will do the job. Now let me get you some information off the back of it here. Let me get this moved around a little bit. Sorry for the interruption there. All right, there we go. Let's see if we can. Yeah, shadow. Let me move a little bit to this side. And there is the specs on that. They're model type ICO-SPC 100-watt eco-worthy solar module. So that's what we're going to start with. To power up the little motor, and then we'll have the controller in the middle. So you can actually, let's put this back down there. You won't need an inverter. You won't need any other stuff in the middle. Outside, this little unit right there. That's, to me, basically that is all there is inside a 12-volt inverter, or say a DC to an AC inverter. But we're going DC to DC, so you don't need anything in the middle besides this here to run that there. So stick around. Now we've got most of this stuff just temporarily wired. It's not permanently wired in any form or fashion, so it's not going to look very professional. But let me show you what we're going to be using also. Now it's going to be this. Let me get the information in my pocket here. So I had to write it down. It's got so much technical information, and I'll take a picture of that here shortly. It's a DC 300-watt 20-amp step-down voltage converter. Input voltage is 6 volts to 40 volts. Output voltage is 1.2 volts to 36 volts DC. Got it? Output current is 20 amps max. I put the little picture there. I wrote that down for you. Just in case you want to buy one. I know sometimes I'm watching a video and I see something there I want, and the damn burn person, the videographer or the person making the video, whatever you want to call them, they don't put that information down there, and then I'm looking all over the internet, can't find it. Well, no rambling on. So we got the solar panel over there. We got us a test meter here so I can show you the voltage. Got a couple test leads here. We got a little screwdriver here. It's almost a little bit too big. You need something small enough where you can crank down on these little blue brass screws and that blue thing on the jiggy right there. And that right there is actually going to crank the voltage up or down. So you can set the voltage on this little Dumaflitchy right here. Now it's got the heat sinks on it, which is pretty cool. So that helps it, keeps it from getting very, very hot. Now, I know the wiring is kind of screwed up here. It's kind of dark, but you see right there, we got the solar coming in here, red. It's traveling right up here, and it's going into the positive end. Maybe you won't see that, but it's going to the positive end. And then you got the negative coming in right here, and it's a yellow wire. It's going to the negative end. Now there is an on and off switch right here, so you turn it, power it on and off, and this is going to be the outlet side. So we got these two wires tied into that little pump here. They kind of rigged up here, and they go right over here. You see them down there. See that mess? Just so you know, I got them hooked up and no cheating. Got them tied to that wire, run right in here to this little pump in this guy's chest. All right. Well, hopefully you can see this video. I'm doing this by myself, and kind of hard to do that video and work with something like this. Well, right now the sun's not up 100%, but we're going to go ahead and test the input voltage from the solar panel, which is coming in right here. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's coming in these two right here, and this is the positive side and that's the negative side. The yellow is going to be negative, and the positive input side is going to be right there. Now if you look at the meter, we're showing 9.41, 9.39 volts. Now if that sun would step out behind them clouds up there, we could get this thing up there at about 10.67, 10.68 or something like that. Now I have this adjusted. Now you can adjust the output by turning this little knob right here. These little brass knobs, brass screws, what are you going to call them? You can adjust those, and when you adjust those, that brings the output voltage up. Now, okay, this is the positive out, and this is negative out. Oh, let me turn it on. I got it turned off right now. There is an on and off switch right here. Okay, now you see the light up right there. See it? It came on. Now then, let's see what the output voltage is. Output voltage is 5.03 volts. So you're bringing in, let's check it again on this side. The sun came out. We're bringing in 10.20 volts. And let's see what happens when you put it down on 2. It's overload, so make sure you got your meter set. I wanted to point that out for a reason. 10.18. And see, even though this changed on this side, we'll go back to the opposite side. We're going to check it. See, that stays the same. That's why they call this a converter. It converts the energy going in to whatever you need going out to keep from burning up whatever you're using on the final end of it, wherever the source is, or not the supply, yeah, whatever the load is. So if you needed something that's going to draw no more than 5.5 volts, this unit right here is perfect for that. You know, like I said, it can withstand, let me get my little notepad back out here again. It can withstand step down voltage converter, input voltage 6 volts to 40 volts. So that, you know, it'll handle up to 40 and down as low as 6. Output voltage 1.2 at 36 volt DC. And it's a DC 300 watt 20 amp. So yeah, it can handle quite a bit of juice there, folks. Now, what I like about this and running on a water pump, in one of my other videos, I showed it running a water pump that was very much similar to that. And if you ran it without this regulator in it, which to me is nothing more than what they have in a, say for instance, you got a solar panel or 2 or 3 solar panels, and you have that little box that goes on the wall, I can't think of the name of it, save my life right now. It takes the energy and brings it down where it regulates it. I couldn't get my thinking cap working there, but I did find what I was talking about. This is what I was talking about. Now see, this is a solar charge controller. So to me, what you see inside of one of these is probably exactly what we have right here. It is taking the voltage, if it's say 25 volts, and it's going to bring it down to a usable number, which I think is pretty darn cool. Yeah, so basically we're making one of these by using one of these, and that in return keeps from burning up whatever the load is that you have on it. Now let me crank this knob up here a little bit, or let me go back and check it again so I can show you where we're at and what's going to happen after I crank that knob up. Okay, it's at 5.03, just like we had earlier. Now take your screwdriver and get right down there on that little brass number flitcher right there and crank it up, crank it in. And when you crank it in, watch what happens. Out. See what happened? Went to 6.94 volts right away. Now I'm going to try to get on it at the same time I'm videoing, and I'll back it off. See, as I back it off, what happens? See, I'm almost got it back down there where we was at by cranking this thing counterclockwise. Okay, that's 4.9. I want to get it back to 5.03, 5.04. That's close enough right there. So see how you can adjust that? You may have a lot of voltage coming in on this side, but at least on this side here, you can dial that thing in or out, get whatever you need on the output side to be exactly as you need it to protect whatever you're using on that side. Now, do you want to know if the water pump is working? Why, Dad Burn, it sure is. Let me show you. All right, now we made it to the part that you've been waiting for. You want to know if it's pumping water. You want to know if this little water pump is working, right? Well, all right. I showed you this just a few minutes ago. I showed you this controller that we put in line here. And then here is the little ice chest we got with the little bitty little water pump I showed you at the beginning. Would you look at that? That thing is kicking some water right out of there. So, and that's a pretty good stream. I'm not sure how far it's going to shoot out of there. Let's try it, see if I can keep it in there. But that thing is pumping out some water, folks. So that's a pretty good, that's a DC pump. And that's running off of solar. Only a 100-watt solar panel. No batteries in between. You're running, like I said, straight from the solar panel to the buck step converter, inverter, converter, whatever you want to call it. Down out of that, or you're going from the solar panel inside here, outside the buck step inverter, running straight out, straight to that little pump there, and it's running by itself. So you don't need a battery, you don't need anything else in between. You just need a solar panel that's going to generate, you know, 10 volts or more. I'll say 10 volts. 6 volts. As you see here, we had a while ago, we had it right at 5.04. So as long as you got something that'll generate that, say 6 volts, and then it'll run through the converter and bring it down to what we had it at, then that little pump will run continually as long as you got some sun. Well, I hope the video helped you out a little bit there. If we helped you in any form or fashion, we ask that you hit the like, subscribe, thumbs up. I know this wasn't a very professional video, but hey guys, it's what it is, and we was able to show you something. Well, if you like solar, wind energy, tinkering, and just clean out, having fun, playing with stuff, stick around. See all this junk I got up here? We got all kinds of projects coming up here pretty soon. Sure to find something you like here somewhere. At least I was able to show you something there that might be resolving a question you might have when it comes to solar.